What if enhancing your customer and employee experiences were easier than you thought? Without question, engaged customers and employees provide immense value to any company. On the contrary, disengaged and dissatisfied customers and employees can create a significant financial burden to an organization. Welcome to Business at Tiffany's. I'm your host, Tiffany Johnson. And as we mentioned on last week's podcast, we will review my 5-star retention model designed to elevate your customer or patient loyalty and employee retention. In my experience of working with the healthcare system, they ranked as #1 in outpatient satisfaction. Now, normally that would be great. However, on a scale of 1 to 99, 99 being the best, you can see how being #1 was not a badge of honor. Other departments blamed the poor score on one specific department, so I set out to find the root cause of the issue through data mining. So, what is data mining? Data mining is taking the data and transferring it into usable information to develop processes, policies, and make important decisions for the organization. Now, I presented the data to the other leaders, and they began to shift their mindset. Silos were broken down and departments began to collaborate. This was huge. I created a process and combined it with one of the others that the leader had developed on her own. Now, together we created a best practice resulting in one of the highest outpatient satisfaction scores in the healthcare system. Now, I knew that I could take these same principles and help other organizations elevate their customer and employee experiences, resulting in higher customer loyalty and employee retention. Now, although my target niche is the healthcare industry, meaning dental, emergency clinics, pediatrics, and more, my framework does easily cross-transfer into other industries. For example, I have helped oil and gas industries, sales industries, and also the hospitality industries. So, to let you know how this impacts customer attrition and employee turnover, let's talk about this a little bit more in depth. Senior leaders understand the value of customer and employee-centric practices, as the cost of losing customers and patients and employees to the competition can be high. Losing a customer or employee to the competition or for other reasons, it drains the company of time and resources. Although employee turnover is an issue that keeps leaders up at night, about 75% of hiring departments do not realize the financial impact of turnover. So, what are some of these effects of employee turnover and losing patients or customers to the competition? These impacts can be financial, diminished performance, loss of knowledge and expertise, and loss of customers and employees. How many of the prior employees have taken their customers with them? In a sales environment, that happens frequently. So attracting a new customer can cost the organization 6 to 7 times. That is 6 to 7 times more than retaining an existing one. And by retaining just 2% of your customers is basically the equivalent to decreasing your cost by approximately 10%. How would decreasing your cost by 10% impact your organization? That is a question to be asked. So what do our programs do? So with Principium Resources, what we do with our 5-star retention model is it helps to improve your customer experience. It enriches the relationships and enhances the company culture, gains clarity on business and personal goals that you have throughout your organization at all the different levels. Also improving the performance of your team and your bottom line, amplifying communication and connection with others, and equipping and empowering them with the tools and resources to achieve optimal success in customer loyalty, employee retention, and this one, leadership influence. Basically, what we do is we empower organizations with the tools needed to retain their greatest assets, which are their customers and their employees. So how do we do this? As we mentioned in the last podcast, we do this through the 5-star retention model that I developed. We focus on 2 key areas, which are the target areas and getting results. And the target areas, just to summarize what we talked about last week, it's feedback and online resources, inclusion and diversity, vision alignment, employee and patient customer experiences. And the getting the results is the way that we do this, the way that we are able to help you to retain your customers, your patients, and your employees. It's through strategizing, through our training and development programs, through our assessments and analysis, and we remain retention focused. By combining all of this together in our 5-star retention model, we are able to enhance your patient or customer loyalty and employee retention. So as I mentioned, we can do this through feedback and online resources, which is the area that we're going to focus on today. So, do online reviews matter? Heck, yes, they matter. And if you said no, they don't matter, then it's time for you to really tune in and maybe turn up your dial, because online reviews, yes, 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 they matter. Our program helps leaders gain that clarity and awareness of online resources and the impact that these resources have on your business now and in the future. So when you're doing forecasting, how are you to forecast and try to be as accurate as possible? Well, one of them is through feedback. Feedback and online resources such as your online reviews, your websites, your social media, all of this impacts your consumer purchasing decision. And did you know that 93% of consumers' purchasing decisions are influenced from their online reviews? They also help organizations identify opportunities for improvement, and the feedback and online resources may be used as a tool to help you with your strategic planning. It is critical for organizations to respond timely and appropriately to consumer feedback and employee feedback. So how do you do this, right? So let's talk just about the online feedback. We're going to talk about the online reviews, because this is crucial. I cannot tell you or stress the amount of online reviews that I have gone to where there has been crickets, complete silence from the company. And what this does is this tells a tale, right? If you've got low reviews, which by the way, if you are less than a 3.3-star rating, odds are you will not earn their business. So you want to get your reviews as high as possible, 4-star and up if at all possible, and maintain and sustain that. So how can you do this? One of them is by replying timely. So whether they leave a positive review or a negative review, you want to make sure that you are replying timely. So let's say that it is a negative review and somebody is talking about how dirty the environment was. The proper response would not be, well, I'm sorry, that's the way it is, go away, right? What we want to do is we want to make sure that our responses are relevant, that they are appropriate, and that they bring the customer back in for a second chance. So the reply might be something such as, I am so sorry you had that experience. Please contact me directly at, leave your email, so that way we can discuss further. Your feedback is valuable and greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Sincerely, management, leadership, however you want to put that. That would be an appropriate response to the online review. Now, let's say that you had a positive review. So many times people will go on there and they'll leave you a 4-star, 5-star review. If they leave you a 4-star review, you might respond back and say, oh, Tiffany, thank you so much for leaving your kind words. I noticed that you left a 4-star review. What can we improve on? So next time you come in, we can, you'll want to put in a 5-star. So this will go back on the person. They might think about it. They may change their rating to a 5-star because you provided that feedback, or they might actually connect with you and say, you know, through that, it took us, 45 minutes to get our food. When we came to the counter, it took them 15 minutes to even acknowledge us. I went to the hospital and my wait time was 30 minutes. I went to the clinic and my wait time was this, or, anything of the sort. So any type of feedback like that can greatly enhance your opportunities in your organization to be able to look at your processes, your policies, the things that are implemented, even the employees' behaviors are an area of focus. So in one situation, there was a physician where they did not provide the best service. And the person left them a 1-star review. Well, even if you have all 5-star reviews from everybody else, that 1-star review can significantly impact your review average. So it is important to ensure that you are providing timely feedback to your consumers and to your customers. So another example would be, let's say that you're looking on Yelp and you've got a couple of bad reviews, some amazing reviews, and some in between. Well, the thing to look at is it's not about them just posting on this and maybe somebody will review it, maybe somebody won't review it, but keep in mind that everything is virtual now. And people are looking at online reviews and trusting those reviews as if it were their friend leaving those reviews. Now, this one particular case, this person who had a negative review had 52 connections in Yelp. So what are the odds that their 52 connections have now seen or may see that review from that contact? Think about that for a minute. It used to be where if somebody had a bad experience, they would tell 10 people who would tell 10 people who would tell 10 people. Those times are gone. And your reviews are so important to the growth of your organization, to building that credibility, to building that trust in the community, because people are looking. They're looking at Yelp. If you're in the healthcare industry, they are looking at health grades. They're looking at Google reviews. They're looking at other reviews that are out there. So what are your reviews saying? When was the last time that you reviewed your online reviews? And when you did, what were they at? And the next question that I want you to think about is, when was the last time you replied to them? And are you replying to all of your reviews, or just the negative ones, or just the positive ones, or maybe when you get around to it? So as you think about that, I want you to also consider something else. Some of the reasons that the online reviews are not being responded to is the lack of time, right? So we all have 24 hours in the day. How we decide to use those 24 hours is up to us. We can carve out that time to list our priorities. But if you're an organization and you have a team, try delegating some of those tasks to your team members. Do you have a team member that is great with customer service and is eloquent in their speaking? Are they able to convey the brand in a manner that is the vision of the company and represents the culture of the company? So think about that. If you have a team member that you feel you could delegate that task to, maybe delegate the online review task and replying to that particular employee. Now, of course, because it is online, you will definitely want somebody that you can trust, which hopefully you hired the right people that you can trust. So take a look at that. So if you don't have time, or if you haven't carved out the time to be able to do the online reviews, look around you and see who you can delegate that task to, because online reviews are not something that you want to fall behind on. The other thing I want you to think about is the employee aspect. So that was the customer aspect of your online reviews. So when you're looking at feedback from your employees, and we'll talk about surveys and internal things later. Today, we're talking about the external online reviews. When you want a good picture of what people are saying about your organization, your leadership, your management, the environment, the culture, the benefits, everything under the sun, why people leave your establishment. Look on the online reviews. One of the things that I do in my program to find the root cause of the issue is ensuring that I see the big picture. I don't just want the internal surveys of when things are cheery and cheerful or doomy in that moment. I want to see the big picture of the organizations. What is going on in those organizations? So one piece of that, as we mentioned, is the customer reviews. The second piece of that is looking at the employee reviews. What are they saying on ZipRecruiter? What are they saying on Indeed? What are they saying on Facebook and social media sites and other areas of communication, other areas of online communication? These are the areas that I'm looking at. I can easily find that information just with the click of a mouse and a couple of keys on my keypad. This is important information because sometimes when an employee will exit the company, they do receive that third-party communication. But what happens with that third-party communication? It goes back to the human resources department. And many times that human resources department may reach out to the leader and say, this is what was told to our third-party vendor about why they exited. How is this, how is this going on? What is this doing? Well, if employees understand how that might work, then there may be some resistance on providing information. Plus, they may not even pick up the phone call to answer that exit interview. So if that happens, then there are alternative methods of being able to find out what they are saying about their experience while working there. And one of those things is through looking at what is being said on other online resources like ZipRecruiter, Indeed, and so forth. So what I do is I take a look at those reviews and I look at the ratings. Again, many of them have all the ratings of the company. Sometimes it's more specific, such as the benefits, the leadership, the support, the flexibility, the salaries, and so forth. So there's a lot of spectrum there. And it's great because you can get a bigger picture on where the needs are. And some of them even show if the company is average with the way that things are and other organizations in that industry. And I'll tell you if it's good, if it's poor, and so forth. So it's very beneficial to look at that information because a lot of the analytics are already available to you. So you don't have to do all of the stress and the analytics and the analysis of everything. But we do. So we're great for that. And we love doing that. And we'd love to help you if that's what you need. So we do look at that. We look at the themes. So we look at the themes within the employees and what they're saying, and we also compare that with what the customers are saying. And do we see a common thread? Maybe it is leadership. Maybe it is coworkers of the frontline staff. We look at all of these different things and we put it into a program so that way we can strategize a program that is appropriate for your organization. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that in one location, you may have a thriving team and it is wonderful, but then you have a second location where it's not so much. So we can come in and we can see what the differences are. We can do an analysis and take a look at that and see how we can better strategize a program that would fit your needs and align with your company vision. But that way we can also elevate your employee retention and your customer experience. So these are just a couple things to think about when you're looking at online reviews. So are they important? You bet they are important. Absolutely 100%. And another thing that you can do to help with those online reviews is to make sure that people know where you're at. If you are listed on Google, then make sure people know about it. Tell them about it. I can't tell you how many times I go through McDonald's and they're like, there is a survey at the bottom if you want to take that survey. They are seeking customer feedback. And that's just another way to do that through communication, through having one of my dental office actually has a sign up that says Google reviews and has a little card with their information. So that way employees and patients may be more apt to go on Google and leave them a rating. So I hope this helps you in some form or fashion because online reviews matter. And this is a new perception to go in. If you're already looking at the customer online reviews, maybe start looking at the employee online reviews. What have previous employees said? And take that information and use that in your strategy to improve your organizational performance. And you will see that by doing this one little step, it can help your business significantly. So until next time, know that I believe in you and all that you do. And if there's anything that you need, definitely contact me at tjohnson@principiumresources.com or check out my website, www.principiumresources.com. Until next time, talk to you soon.